Sure. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk and, you know, the climate in the country, how everyone's feeling. It's probably no surprise to anyone. My community of friends that I'm very close to are predominantly in Republican politics and Republican media circles, and for the most part, they're all very angry and very scared. And I just want to read a few data points for you in the audience. In the past 4 years, there's been an attempted assassination of Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh and other justices in response to the Dobbs decision. We've seen the assassination attempt of President Trump twice, almost successful. Obviously, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now we're seeing targeting of ICE agents, ICE facilities, religious schools, and Jewish citizens. The vast number of these attacks have a political motive at Republicans, and people are saying that, and there's a sentiment that the targets are mostly towards Republicans. Do you think this is as a result of the villainizing of conservatives for so long? And you can disagree with me on the premise if you think that the target's happening on the left as well.
Well, first let me just say I'm still heartsick about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Good and decent and honorable young man, strong faith, who literally gave his life championing free and open debate on America's university campuses. Look, violence is always wrong. Political violence must be universally condemned. And I look at the tragedy of Charlie's assassination. I look at the attack on Governor Shapiro's home and family in Pennsylvania, the attack that claimed the life of the Democrat leader in Minnesota, and of course the 2 assassination attempts against President Trump. And I think of a fateful day 4 years ago where people assaulted police officers at the United States Capitol. And I have 2 reactions. First is that I think we need to resist the temptation of putting America on trial anytime a deranged individual breaks the law and engages in violence against our citizens. Absent more facts, the man who was responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination was the man on the roof with the rifle. And I hold the view that we ought to think seriously about reforms that make justice more swift and more certain in cases of mass shootings, in the cases of political violence. I do believe that the very idea that someone who engages in any number of these political public acts or mass shootings would languish in prison for 20 or 30 years. That's not justice. Justice delayed is justice denied. And I think we ought to think very seriously about how we expedite, without compromising due process, how we expedite the prosecution and ultimately justice delivered to people that engage in these crimes. Beyond that, I will tell you that I think democracy depends on heavy doses of civility, and that it is incumbent on all of us that have been in public roles to think carefully about the way we talk about one another. I mean, I really do believe that you can disagree without being disagreeable, which doesn't mean that I've never been disagreeable.
I have never.
You've never. I mean, you can throw some sharp elbows from time to time, but the objective of saying, I can say that you're wrong on an issue without saying you're a bad person. And I feel like we've slipped off that railing in the political debate. The last thing I'd say is our politics is more divided than any time in my lifetime. But Megan, I'm not convinced the American people are as divided as our politics. I mean, I tell people, you get 15 miles out of Washington, D.C., the people in this country actually get along pretty well. We know how to talk to people that disagree with us. We live next door to people that we don't see eye to eye on everything. Co-workers, friends, people we go to church or synagogue or mosque with. Americans find a way to work together. It's just, we've got to have government as good as our people again. And but this violence, the political violence, as I said, has to be universally condemned. We must bring it to an end with swift and certain justice, but also recognize the way we talk about one another can be exploited by deranged and weak-minded people to justify acts.
I agree with you that no individual group of people should be scapegoated when a crazy maniac enacts an act of violence. I also don't think that's fair.